She packed her bags, waved goodbye to her mother, and drove off to college with a whole life ahead of her. 18 days later, she was gone. Not gone as in moved on, not gone as in ran away. Gone. Forever. And the man who took her, he had been hiding in plain sight, smiling, taking her pictures, pretending to be her friend. This is the story of Taylor Behl, a girl who just wanted to fit in, and the predator who made sure she never got the chance. It was August 2005. Taylor Behl was 18 years old, fresh out of high school and bursting with excitement. She had just arrived at Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond, Virginia. First year, new roommate, new freedom, new life. Taylor was the kind of girl you'd notice. Bright eyes, warm smile, a love for photography and music. She kept a blog online, like many teenagers did back then, and she was open about her feelings, her thoughts, her world. But Taylor was also still figuring herself out. She was young, naive, and in a new city, she was desperate to make connections. That desperation would cost her everything. Richmond wasn't just a college town. It had a darker side, a tight-knit underground scene of skaters, artists, and older guys who liked to hang around younger crowds. Taylor fell into that world almost immediately. And that's where she met him, Ben Fawley. He was 38 years old. She was 18. He called himself a photographer. He had tattoos, a skateboard, and a way of making young girls feel seen. He told Taylor she was beautiful. He offered to take her photos. He made her feel special. What he really was a predator in disguise. Taylor began spending time with Fawley. Her friends noticed. Her roommate noticed. Some of them felt uneasy about him. He was too old. He was too intense. Something felt off. But Taylor didn't see it, or maybe she didn't want to. September 5, 2005. Taylor Behl was last seen leaving her dormitory at Virginia Commonwealth University late at night. She told her roommate she was going out. She never came back. The next morning, her bed was empty. Her phone was silent. Her things were still in her room. Her keys, her wallet, most of her belongings. Girls don't usually leave without their things. Her mother, Janet Palasara, knew something was wrong the moment she heard. She had that feeling, that deep, terrifying gut feeling that only mothers know. She reported Taylor missing immediately. The story caught fire quickly. Taylor was young, she was a college student, and her disappearance had all the ingredients of a nightmare. The media picked it up. Volunteers flooded in. Search parties combed through Richmond. But there were no leads, no witnesses, no body. And then, investigators turned their eyes to Ben Fawley. He was the last person known to have been with Taylor. When police brought him in for questioning, he was slippery, evasive. He admitted he knew Taylor. He admitted they had a relationship, but he claimed he had nothing to do with her disappearance. Police didn't fully buy it, but without a body, without evidence, they couldn't charge him. Not yet. Here's where the story takes a fascinating turn. Remember Taylor's blog, the one she kept online? Investigators dug into it, and what they found was a digital trail, Taylor's own words, written in the weeks before she vanished, talking about Fawley. She had written about feeling conflicted about him, about the relationship being complicated, about older men and feelings she couldn't quite name. It painted a picture. And then, detectives made another discovery. Ben Fawley also had an online presence, and buried in his digital world were photographs, disturbing ones. Photographs of young women, evidence of a man with a very dark inner life. Authorities arrested Fawley, not yet for Taylor's murder, but on child pornography charges discovered during the investigation. They had enough to hold him. But where was Taylor? 1 month after Taylor vanished, on October 5, 2005, a farmer in Mathews County, Virginia made a grim discovery. Human remains, partially buried in a remote rural field. It was Taylor Behl. She had been driven out of Richmond, out into the countryside, and left there, discarded like she was nothing. The medical examiner confirmed Taylor had been strangled. She was 18 years old. With the body found, the walls closed in on Ben Fawley fast. Facing the evidence mounting against him, Fawley eventually made a deal. He pleaded guilty to second-degree murder, but his explanation? Sickening. He claimed the death was an accident, that Taylor had died during a consensual encounter, that it was never meant to happen. Investigators didn't fully buy the accident story. The way her body was disposed of, driven miles away, buried, that wasn't the act of a panicked man who made a mistake. That was the act of someone who knew exactly what he was doing. Taylor's mother sat in that courtroom and listened to a man try to minimize her daughter's death. She held herself together with the strength only grief can build. In 2006, Ben Fawley was sentenced to 30 years in prison. For Taylor Behl, it would never feel like enough. 30 years for 18 years of a life never lived. 30 years for a girl who never got to finish college, fall in love, build a career, or call her mother just to say hi. Taylor's mom, Janet, became an advocate. She spoke out about online safety, about the dangers of predators who use the internet and social spaces to target young people. She turned her grief into purpose.